Production and factory settings bring their own set of hurdles for wireless connections. Harsh conditions, both indoors and out, create a daunting task for engineers to work through. Now let me tell you, those engineers ain't looking to back down from a challenge like this, no sir. This here's where we gather round to tackle them hurdles, swap thoughts, and lend a hand. Welcome to the Industrial Wi-Fi Shop with your hosts, Scott and Jeremy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to end of year 2025 Industrial Wi-Fi Shop. My name is Scott McNeil. With me is the incorrigible and incomparable and more than famous, which makes him infamous, Jeremy Baker. How you doing today, Jeremy?
He's so famous, he's literally in famous.
Correct.
Well, Three Amigos action. I'm doing well.
Well, man, it's the end of the year, and we got some of the guys together. We're just gonna talk about all kinds of fun stuff and see what we've got going on our benches these days, what tools we're using, any new technology. We're pretty much whatever comes up. And if we run down rabbit holes, we run down rabbit holes. That's fine. It is the end of the year. We are at our recording date is Monday, the 22nd of December, 2025. Only a few days left till Christmas. About 2 weeks till the new year. So let's have some fun, and everybody, let's run around the table so we can see who all we got here. Let's start with you, Nick. You're almost the furthest away.
Hi, I'm Nick Schwarzenberg. From German startup 5,5, which means 5.5. We are a startup from TU Dresden, founded sort of 2023, and we are building industrial real-time wireless. Thanks for inviting.
Absolutely. Toby, you've
Stoked
been
to
on
be
the
on that
show
show.
before. You know how this works.
Yeah. Hi, Tobias Meyer again from Onyx Automation Networks Experts. Actually, it's December 23rd for me already because I'm in New Zealand right now. Thanks for having me anyways. Looking forward to this nice meeting and discussion. Thanks.
Glad to have you back, Toby. And we have,
Scott, you could say that he is back from the future.
Yeah.
you know what? You're right. But you know what? He's in New Zealand, so his car doesn't even register 88 miles an hour.
That's
So
right.
what's the kilometer equivalent to that?
It's
I don't know.
1.6.
I don't
We were
know.
pre-gaming trying to figure that out. So
Yeah.
we
I don't
also
even know
have
what a
with
kilometer
us
40.
is.
Mark and Ali, both who have been here before, old friends of the show and old friends of ours. Mark, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, please, sir.
Mark Hout. I work with a bunch of schools in Utah, here in the western part of the United States. I am CWNE 500 for those in the Wi-Fi world who care about those types of things. But I do Wi-Fi, and I got involved in private cellular, and I'm dabbling with LoRaWAN and some of these other technologies, but more on the IT side of things than the OT. But it's fun to dabble and play and see both sides of the fence. So
And last but definitely not least, the United States Lord of Wyco, Ali. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on this second. I think it's the second time, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
at least your
second and
second
third.
time.
Yeah, at least the second time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, love, man. I love the fact that how your show has grown and brings definitely a different perspective. So, yeah, thank you for the invite. I'm a solutions architect, working on just solutions and of different kind, right? And I'm just dabbling in a whole bunch of different things right now. It's kind of slow towards the end of the year, right? Normally. So what I do it is I use that opportunity to, because throughout the year I don't get time to get too much attention and focus on studying and that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of focusing on now catching up on renewing my certifications, getting new certifications. Just passed actually two recently, working on a few more, also doing some research in a whole bunch of different things that some vendors have given me to test out and all that kind of stuff. So planning on getting into that. And Wi-Fi obviously is my passion and big thing, but with automation, that's something else I'm kind of getting involved in using. So using this downtime to get a little bit more deep into that.
Well, the best part is you dress the part and you're wearing your safety vest. You're
You
wearing
know, I should have
your ANSI yellow and with silver reflective. Oh, and your hard hat. Very good.
yeah,
Awesome,
had this
awesome,
on
dude.
already.
So cool.
All right, well, I tell you what, we were pre-gaming a little bit, but so I'm going to jump into one of the things that I have been having on my workbench, and it is this new device I got from MileSight. This is their MileSight Field Tester. Now, for those of you listening audibly, it basically looks like a cell phone with a big old antenna stuck to the top of it, but it is built on Android technology. But this is a LoRaWAN field testing unit. And so it is designed to connect up to a LoRaWAN gateway and then give you all kinds of physical connection statistics to help you better be able to test and place both gateways and sensors and all kinds of different stuff. And I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I've been having trouble getting a decent LoRaWAN gateway that does not require all manner of cloud licenses and whatnot. So I've got to find me a little bit better of a gateway solution, but I'm excited about putting this thing through its paces. It also does just kind of a lightweight scanning of the 900 megahertz spectrum, which is nice. But this particular device, though, it'll cover just about every frequency because it's designed to be country agnostic. So you can go in there and set your country, and then it will adjust its LoRa for the whatever regulations of that country that you're in. So whether it be 800 megahertz, 900, or like Australia is half of what we have here. European Union, I want to say, is Nick, correct me, and Toby, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the 800s. It's like a really narrow slice. You guys
It's
don't
a
have much
fraction,
to
yeah.
play with. Um,
No.
but I'm really looking forward to getting these because as soon as I get some actual actionable results from tests, I'll get it published out and post it because it's interesting, but something we were talking about when we were pre-gaming, I hadn't dug far enough or really all that far into LoRa past the physical aspect of it. And so there's a lot of coding on the back end that it requires really to make it work for sensor processing and whatnot. But one of the things we were talking when we were pre-gaming is how with LoRa they talk about it as a spread as opposed to channels, and that's something I've kind of had to wrap my head around. Um, and Nick, you were doing a good job at kind of breaking that down. Can you run through that again real quick on when it comes to LoRa for those who are not familiar with it, why they discuss spread versus actual channels?
So they have channels and spreading factors, and the spreading factor says how far you spread the user data in frequency and time, and it's like the inverse of the MCS and Wi-Fi. It's comparable to the constellation mapping actually of the MCS and Wi-Fi. So the bigger the spreading factor, the lower the user data rate.
But
It's
on the
actually it's the same meaning as in 3G, like with UMTS, and I don't know what was it called in the US. You had like, what was it called? CDMA and stuff, right?
CDMA.
It's the same meaning, spreading
Okay.
factor, yeah, same meaning.
But the wider your spread is, though, the more robust it is overall because you're using more of the signal spread out, so it's more resistant
Yeah,
to various types of interference.
that's correct.
But that's one of the functions of this field tester. Also tells you, based upon what's going on in that environment. And you can see I've already customized it, got my Stormtrooper helmets on the background. So,
Excellent.
uh,
Quick question on that
That's the
spread.
go ahead.
So if you're spreading the data more, does it you mentioned it's more reliable? Is that kind of like what you were saying? But does it also mean that if it's spread more, there's more chance that it might run into interference? Or
On the time scale, yeah, that's
okay,
correct. So if you have the same amount of data and you spread it farther in time because the bandwidth is fixed, yes, this means higher chance of collision. It's the same with Wi-Fi, right? If you run at a lower
okay,
MCS, the transmission is more robust, but you have a higher chance of interference by others. Yeah.
okay, cool.
One of the things that this thing will do is also tell you what spreading factors will work best for the environment that you're in from end device to gateway, which I thought was kind of cool as I've been reading the documentation on it. So it'll be a lot of fun once I get an actual working gateway up and can get some meaningful test data out of it that I can really start wrapping my head around, understanding a little bit more. But so for all the weird and crazy stuff I do, I haven't really dove deep into LoRa because I've been really kind of pushing into other 900 megahertz areas and with the Morse Micro Halo units and playing with those guys, which I really like those things. I've been fascinated with 900 megahertz for a long, long time, and not long ago we had the guys from Esteem on, and they push a lot of data over 900 megahertz, and they use a proprietary protocol, but it's actually fairly similar. I even did some spectrum comparisons on what their Steam looks like at wider channels versus and narrower channels versus Halo, and they're very, very similar, and they take up almost the same amount of RF space, and their throughput values are about the same, so they're really close. But then, so Jeremy and I have been, we're always talking to people, and we're always, shameless self promoters, and picked up these. We acquired these Halo dongles from Heltec, and so this is another thing that's coming up that I'll be pushing through, and they're essentially like a prepared set of dongles to help you solve smaller problems quickly without having to go through big distribution channels and go through all the pain to set up a big link. And if you only need to go, I don't know, 400 or 500 feet through a tangle of stuff, this looks like it's going to be a nice little inexpensive solution to get you, 20, 30 megs worth of throughput.
What is that, USB-C? I mean, I can connect it to my.
So it's Ethernet and USB-C. And yeah, dude, and it comes with these little Omni Whip antennas, and I just unboxed them today. They just came in the other day, and so I haven't had a chance to really dig into them yet. But it's a fascinating little setup. They come prepared, and essentially there's really not much in the way of configuration. I think they're really going for the whole plug and play aspect, and then giving you the flexibility of Halo with that. So, I mean, be it you have a camera out in some area that it's going to be way too expensive to run cabling to. You don't want to dedicate, $1,500 to a separate access point for it or something along those lines. It's an interesting little piece of gear from Heltec. So, what you got, Toad?
Two things. First of all, can you put the name and maybe some information in the notes of your hardware
Absolutely.
you're playing around with?
I absolutely
And
will.
secondly,
I'll drop all the info in the show notes.
show notes. Thank you. And then secondly, so is it a point-to-point or point-to-multipoint connection? Because of its plug and play, I see.
I
an issue
think
there
these
with
are set up as
point-to-multipoint.
point to point.
It says it can do mesh or point to point.
Okay, thank you,
And
Jeremy.
I think they've got a little 2.4 radio on them also.
Yeah,
What's the configuration interface? Like how
I haven't
do you
even
set
plugged
these
it in
up?
yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I was just like, well, I forgot I had them on my desk. I was like, oh, I got it's got this little dongle thingy on it, so.
I think the form factor is amazing.
Yeah, it's just a little tiny, which will allow you to do quite a bit with it, keeps it out of the way. I think there conceivably could be a lot of advantages to something like that, but it'll be fun when I start putting it through its paces.
So you mentioned. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead, Ali.
I was gonna say you mentioned the cameras. Is it outdoor rated? So I mean, if you want to use it on outdoor cameras.
See, I don't think this is outdoor. The module is outdoor rated, but I mean, you can get a box cheap enough from Home Depot for $20, and it's 900 megahertz. So it's not like a plastic box is gonna really affect this in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it still prevents the expense of a $1,500, $2,000 outdoor radio specialized for that, right? when you can go and get a small box from the hardware store for $20 and just pop this sucker in there.
Yeah.
So I imagine the use cases for this are actually pretty plentiful. But I'm excited to
I
put
bet
this to
it's
its paces. I also want to compare the throughput I can get from this versus the Morse Micro units. You know,
Mhm.
they're both on Omnis. I don't have directionals for them, but you take the antenna off and it's a little SMA connection, so it's not like you can't use whatever antenna you want to on it, right?
Mm. That's good that it's not fixed, right? You can actually
Right.
change the antenna around. I like that.
So Scott, I was looking at these and those Halo links because they're both pretty similar, but I was looking at them as far as in entertainment. Sometimes we want to be able to do like capture on a vehicle, and so I've been kind of interested for a year or so about using like a Halo backhaul because usually you're not usually running anything like mission critical on 900 megahertz. So having that be like a over the air packet capture backhaul, so you can have your remote sensor on a vehicle going through, and these
Mhm.
things are like warehouses on steroids.
Mhm.
That's
So
cool.
that's kind of my plan for testing for these is to because we've got somebody that's finally realized how nice Wi-Fi Explorer is. So he wants to he wants to put some he wants to put some pies on some vehicles and just be able to do like intermittent scans throughout the course of of the day.
Yeah,
That's
interesting you
cool.
mentioned that. Something I'm testing actually that was given to me, and I met them actually at one of the YCO, actually at the last YCO DC event. It's this little thing, and it looks like there's probably some kind of Raspberry Pi kind of stuff going on in there. E E ePitro or ePitiro or something like that is the company's name. I apologize if I'm butchering the name. And
Uh-oh.
and there's Ethernet and USB over here. I'm not sure what USB is for, but there is Ethernet. And then there's like HDMI and more USB-C and all that kind of stuff going on in there. But I mean, I looked at the UI so far. I mean, I'm still learning. Have you guys heard of Waybot?
Oh yeah, big fan of Ybot.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've used them very extensively, and seems like it it's a sensor, but there's a bunch it can do. The UI seems pretty extensive. I'm still learning, and I have a probably call scheduled to like guys like you need to kind of go through this kind of stuff. I can do captures with it. I can do um, APIs are pretty cool where I can not only take APIs and extract the data, but I can embed that data then continuously live data into, I don't know, wherever, in my own website or something like that, right? If I want. So I'm thinking, Jeremy, what you just mentioned, right? You can technically, something like this would be cool where you can actually not only see the data, but you can actually keep pumping the data live into some kind of dashboard, right? From each vehicle and all that. So yeah, so this is one of the things that I'm testing, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I love the
that
fact that it's a small form factor. That's another thing I like.
I wonder how much like juice it's got. Can you load something on there? Is it an open platform?
What are you trying to do? What do you mean? Can you like
So like so like
elaborate?
could you like write like a small like data gather app or something or do some like pre-processing like on the box before you send it off?
Um, well, yeah, I don't know. I just got it, so I don't know that much. I'm sure, yeah, they probably will work with you. I know you
That's
can
we
work
all-
with
we
the
all
API.
we all got the toys we just got out.
Yeah.
Well, it's Christmas, right? I mean, we're just now getting the fun things, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm sure there's a way to do it because if it's based on Linux and Raspberry Pi platform, there's no reason you can't do it. I know, but however, you can use APIs to interact with their cloud and gather data and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I want to get a Halo radio in this guy so we can start scanning Halo with this guy. That's my next goal.
Nice. Yeah,
This
that
is
would
a
be cool.
Neverland Pie, by the way. Sorry, I forget we're doing recording. Neverland Pie. Those micro
Mark needs
guys need
to
to make it easier.
Mark
I
needs to
got
start applying for patents.
Or at least sharing out all his 3D printing designs to hold everything together to his phone.
one. I didn't build it. I didn't build this WLAN pipe, the WLAN Pygo, so that's
Oh,
not
I just
mine.
saw Osseum. I'm an Osseum fan as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome build it. So
Like
Oh.
does your cell board that you were, am I supposed to say that? Your
Yes,
Go
sir.
cell board, does that sit on top of the Spectrum Analyzer? Like, do you retain that as well?
No,
Or
you lose the Spectrum Analyzer, so it takes the slot of the Spectrum Analyzer. What I'm playing
so
with.
what you're saying is you need two Goes?
The Spectrum Analyzer doesn't do the CBRS band yet. I'm pushing them to change that, but
Keep pushing.
they keep telling me they're like, well, we'll maybe think about that, but still doesn't support it. So
This can do it. So Mark, I should have mentioned since you might like this, it can do LTE and CBRS and all
cool.
those bands also. Yeah. So
Cool.
that's another thing I'm interested in seeing what it looks like on not just Wi-Fi, but more on the LTE and 5G side.
Well,
Wait,
Ali, if you see,
it got a whole SDR on it.
Yeah, I mean, little thing, but it can do a whole bunch. And
Wow,
you
cool.
can I haven't downloaded it, but apparently there's an app too where you can download the app and literally just get into it and remotely run tests from your phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, be sure
Wow,
to
Yeah,
drop
that's
me the
interesting.
links for those, Ali, so I can put that in the show notes, so we have something to reference on.
yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, sounds good. Yep. But yeah, it's pretty interesting device. I think. Oh, another thing that that's another toy that just got some updates got pushed out, right, with CDOS Wave.
I was going to ask what that was.
Yeah, you haven't seen it, so it's a CDOS Wave. It's
Well, I've never seen one
I
up close. I've just seen images on the internet, so it's kind of like, some fantasy Dungeons and Dragons creature that I've only read about in a book, but actually haven't seen in front of me.
yeah
that
I like
that
it that
looks more like a
it's
Klingon vessel. That
yeah
thing
I
does look.
like it's very lightweight. I like that. And normally you do it over here. So I haven't really done, but one of the new feature that they actually showed is what I'm interested in testing out to do the survey with it, where you can specify the locations where somebody can go and do the survey. So I can literally give it to it. I was thinking I can literally give it to my 9-year-old, tell him, go look at this and read this, and it can say things like room 200, center of the room. And all he's got to do is just read that, and he knows that if he needs to go in the center of the room, just stand there and do the survey. Now, obviously, it's not a survey that you can use in a manufacturing space, right? Probably, but some smaller use case I can see. But I can see it evolving into some other stuff. But I'm curious to see how that data will look doing it this way.
So, do you have to have that attached to like another device? So, or is
No.
the Cytos itself an independent piece that you can just carry around?
And that's one of the best thing. I mean, I've worked with all different ones, and each one has its own unique qualities. And this is one of my favorite quality of this thing is I don't need to have a cable attached because I'm a klutz, as you can see. I keep bumping and into things all the time. Oh,
Hey,
so
we were talking when you went to get a drink, and we thought we were gonna have an intervention, and we didn't know if she was beating you again. So,
yeah, I just keep, yeah, I'll have like, me and my son actually on we always run into things and all that. And it's like, oh, how did that happen? I don't know, man. It's just one of the times I ran into something. I even forgot what I ran into. But with that being said, I don't have to worry about yanking the cable because I do that a lot. And there's always a chance, a risk where I can either break this side or my tablet, right, or my laptop where the cable is attached. So the fact that I don't have to use that, actually, check out Fernay actually might have posted something. He did something really cool using this without the cable.
Drone-based testing.
Yeah,
So
he did some
basically what
drone-based
they're
stuff.
doing is they're using Bluetooth to talk to your phone to the device is using Bluetooth. for grabbing where basically a timestamp is I'm guessing is all they're grabbing on each side. And then once the date you're done capturing the data, you used to have to use the wire, but they just announced that you don't need the wire to transfer the data and upload the data anymore. And so you can just use the connection already you already have connected instead of actually having to plug a wire in. But then they take the data, correlate the two timestamps, and say at this moment the device was right here, and I grab this data, and then it maps it on the map for you that way.
And so it correlates it all on the back end.
Yep.
Are you still
How do you get-
like a laptop and like tap at the location where it's at, or is it if you're doing like a drone outdoors, is it picking up GPS as well?
You're still tapping on a map,
Okay.
so they don't have GPS in it at all. You just tap and say, I'm right here, I'm right here, I'm right here still. But GPS would be cool if they were able
Yeah,
to do that.
GPS would be
They-
cool.
Oh, a
They-
colleague
I
of
mean,
mine
the-
just built that actually. Sorry, Toby. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say that I thought about the idea that you don't have to run around. First of all, don't run around, and secondly, don't hit a mark on the map anytime. And I thought about that Boston Dynamics Spot, for instance. Just place one of our devices on it and just let it run, because it's pretty self-navigated, right, with a SLAM and everything on it. But there are actually two companies in the United States who do that. So it is about 120 grand. And then they just ship you one of those dogs and they run around. And secondly, I think with if you have location data, I mean, it could be UWB, ultra wideband, or the new Bluetooth, what is it, channel sounding, Bluetooth 6.2. This also might be a nice idea, which doesn't help if you first have to set up the infrastructure and then you know exactly where you are. But something in between would be nice, that you don't have to run around for any infrastructure. So I think something with a drone, or either a walking drone or flying indoor drone with a proper location would be perfect, actually. But yeah, sorry,
Toby,
Nick, one of your guys just did it. Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
Jeremy, go
I,
ahead,
I was
please.
going to ask, because you're talking about the Bluetooth sounding, what would be the possibility? Like, how difficult would it be to set up like almost like like you do with your AP on a stick, where it's like, okay, I think this is a good AP location, I'm going to mount it here, and then measure around it. How hard would it be to set up like kind of like an ad hoc Bluetooth base station, kind of like scale it to a map?
Oh, it would be the same. So if you have a master radio, we do that all the time. You have a master radio, you put it on a stick, on a tripod. You're guessing, actually, because they're very limited. I think Hamina just started it with a newer version that you can actually do Bluetooth surveys or simulations. And I'm working with against Tamosoft, which are located in New Zealand, fun fact, to do that as well. But you just have to guess it, and then you put it on a stake, and then you run around, and then you measure it. This is exactly what you do for Bluetooth. So with the new standard, you have localization, but it only gives you time of flight, and I think angle of arrival. But it's so new, I couldn't reach through all the specs yet.
Okay.
Anyone who will make me walk less.
Yeah.
There's
Hey, it's just
actually
it's just 120 grand. Come on, just 120 grand, and I'll ship you a Boston Dynamics robot.
It's
and
just
everything is
money.
cool.
I mean,
So,
come
yeah.
on, right? It's just money.
Peter
But
McKenzie
I
has
thought about
one.
that.
Peter
I'm
there's
McKenzie
sorry.
has one in Prague.
a startup based in, I don't know, Nuremberg region. They're called Pelora, and they do very accurate Bluetooth ranging. That's very impressive. So they like, I don't know, they look like little spaceship models, and you attach them to the ceiling, a couple of them, and they are like crazy accurate. It's really impressive. I've seen a demo. Pelora, they're called Pelora. Just to leave
Yep,
that. And I wanted to say regarding GPS and ranging, because like for our Blitzphone real-time Wi-Fi, we did some long range tests recently, and
Hold that up
we
again.
felt the same. Sorry?
Hold it up again.
Ah, yeah. That's what our client looks like. Wait, that's the access point. There you go. And we built these mainly for indoor use, for warehouses, factories, and stuff like that. But we start getting inquiries for outdoor applications, for navigating drones with it and stuff like that. So we did some extensive outdoor long range tests, and it was quite fun, but also quite tedious because of the mapping issue. And now a colleague of mine built a tool which you just run on a Raspberry Pi, which you attach to the same power bank that you use to power the client, and you can just walk around, and it will neatly, periodically map where you are, and all the data from the API of our access points, like signal strength and which access points you roam to and stuff like that. And it's really neat. It's such a time saver. So
That's
I'm really
interesting.
looking forward to the next survey.
Yeah, Scott, you need to put the
But
link for that too, actually, once you post the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys,
Yeah.
every time we mention something, just go ahead and start sending me links so I can just populate this big, list of links that everybody can go to, and then hope that they're not clicking on some sort of malware poisoned one that I plan on sneaking in that I would never put in there. So,
There's
There
definitely
you
not
go.
going to be a Rickroll in there.
well, that would be a QR code, but I can make it happen.
uh,
We know
Nick,
with all the advancements just in general of doing surveys and whatnot, the fact that you're not having to tether to a device anymore is a big thing. Not having to carry around a laptop, for God's sakes, that was the worst.
Oof.
Mhm.
So, but I
Mhm.
mean, and like we were saying when we were pre-gaming, my Cyberscope has become my go-to, because this does all the surveys for me as well. And so it will survey 2.4, it will survey 5, it will survey 6, and it also surveys Bluetooth. Um, and then once you get all that data uploaded to Link Live, you can analyze it every which way from Tuesday and pull out all of your results, in a variety of different formats, and then it makes it easy for custom reporting. So that's my solution to only having to have one device, and it's this guy. And I once I have them all set up with site for the data, site for that data for that site. I mean, it's you're off and running, and battery life on this thing is 8 to 10 hours. I mean, and
Nice.
actually longer than that. I At an aluminum facility, I think I used it for 11 hours straight, and I was just under half life on the battery charge. And it was pretty impressive. But when you have it uploaded to Link Live, and you're looking through your analytics, and you go to the survey. Well, one of the selections is a Bluetooth survey, and so you get a complete Bluetooth heat map. Now, is the accuracy what something like Nick was talking about when you were talking about specialized Bluetooth devices for ranging and whatnot? I don't know. I don't have a comparison. But for what I use it for and utilize it for, it's pretty close. I'm not looking for pinpoint. I'm looking for hand grenade. So, its
Mhm.
blast radius is pretty close. And that's for as of right now, that's good enough for me. Now in the future, that very well may change. But as with everything, it's constantly evolving and changing, and even NetAlly, they're constantly releasing updates to increase their accuracy and speed, and actually uh, different types of analytics that they can do with all the data this is gathering. So you're only doing one pass through that, but you're gathering you're gathering your spectrum data, you're gathering device data, you're gathering all manner of different things. So you're getting network. If you are connected to one of these networks, you're getting all the device scans on top of that. So through one pass, you're getting all of that RF data, but you're also getting device scan data, you're getting security data, you're getting ungodly amounts of information. Um, and then so then it takes you a week to sift through everything. But the nice thing is how they present it is it all makes sense. It's actionable items. It's not just, here is a metric crap ton of data. Good luck. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reporting is important, and how fast I can, sure, you can go and customize reporting for any anyone did, right? You can create scripts and all that kind of stuff, but we're all busy, got so many different things to
I'm
do.
not a
So any,
scripter. That's
yeah, I mean,
I just that is my that's one of my huge weak spots. I don't My brain doesn't operate that. Those of you who are good at it, you are a special kind of human. I am I am not said human.
yeah.
So when I have things that can do it for me, that makes me very, very happy.
Yeah, time is money. That's important. My biggest thing, okay, so one of the things that I'm running into, and it seems like everyone's going towards that, and I'm a little worried about it, and seriously worried about it, because it seems like everyone is trying to go on a handheld way of doing surveys. And that's fine. I hate doing surveys on something like this small, or I gotta have my iPad at minimum to do it, because I don't know, maybe I'm getting old or something. I need to have a bigger map showing up, for example, for me, because I don't want to be having to wear my glasses right everywhere. And I mean, imagine if I'm doing a survey for a big warehouse or a manufacturing facility. It's too much in a small screen.
Well, and
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone else's experience doing warehousing or stuff like that, but the drawings often leave a lot to be desired. And so you really kind of have to have that like edge of the wall still visible so you can see, okay, there's a fire door here or whatever for reference.
Yep.
Can you
Well
tell me
said.
how many
Absolutely.
times I've had to use fire escape plans because those are the only ones that they have because they're required by law to have those from the fire department, for capacity planning and all that stuff. And so, and they're have, sometimes they're hand drawn, and you hope you're scaling it right, and figuring out
Yeah.
landmarks to compare that to. That's always fun.
Well, I
Yeah.
keep just like a blank grid that sometimes I've used that. Like I'll just do a down and dirty Photoshop of the floor plan over it just so that way I can kind of give myself some internal reference points.
Yeah, it happened with me once where there were no doors or anything, and I was doing a survey, and my orientation totally got messed up, and I did approximately 10 minutes of survey and realized it's all wrong. So I had to delete all that. And then I got lucky that I realized the wall on one side had these little things kind of drawn. I'm like, what is this? And I started to look, and I started counting the windows that they had. So apparently that matched with what was in there. So that helped me kind of with proper orientation and everything, and where I am exactly on that map, because it was a large facility, right? So that otherwise it was going to be a nightmare trying to do that.
Yeah, you can usually use like the purlings up top too, and because when it's on a column, they're usually bigger. There's like a bigger section of that, and so it'll be like one big purling and then five small ones or something along those lines.
As long as they show something, right? That exists in that building, then it just becomes easier, right? But if it's just a flat map, just all white and just walls, then that's
It's really fun when they give you an Excel sheet that they manipulated the cells to look like everything in there, and you're like, okay.
I've seen that only once. That only happened with me once. I was like, what is this? So I
Lucky,
literally took
lucky you.
yeah. Do you actually import that into some other software like Visio or Draw.io and then redraw it, or do you just
It all depends. If I've got time, yes. If not, then no. You kind of end up getting what you get. But then it's kind of incumbent on you to understand like what your measuring software does, and then kind of adapt a little bit. So usually stuff like that, like I'll take more capture points than less, just so that way it's at least like even if it's kind of malformed inside of there, it's still relatively right. Uh-oh. See people coming up to the office.
lock the door? Go lock the door.
No, I'm hiding in my boss's office.
Yeah, I think so. What I do is also in a scenario like this, not only obviously pictures obviously are helpful. I'll also take like a 360 video of the area. Just maybe sometimes I'll talk what with regards to the map, explaining what I did and why I did it and why there's additional data in there, or what's missing from there and that kind of stuff, just so I have an idea. Because once you leave the site, Well, you can't I mean, you can go back, but then that adds time and money, right, to that. So I'll use the video data in that case. Now it would be cool if all vendors who create this kind of software allow video embedding in there too, or video notes in there too. I think that would be cool. I know it's gonna increase the cloud cost and all that kind of stuff, but look, if it's crucial and important, why not, right? I mean,
Well, there's the one that Toby was talking about that's only 125 grand. I imagine that has video.
I mean, I can
That's an
just
additional.
Went down that road so far, but I mean, for that price, I would expect some video. Yeah.
yeah. That it would be amazing to be able to use something like that. What else?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's
Toby,
chip
what's
in.
on
I'm
Onyx's
in with
bench?
20 bucks. What's on Onyx's bench? A few things. First of all, the Bluetooth, the new Bluetooth stuff coming up. Not only the channel sounding for location, which sounds pretty neat. So we're doing for a few months, a year now. We're doing ultra wideband. So we are the guys installing the infrastructure for a larger vendor actually. Well, because it touches so many network stuff, right? So first of all, we have some frequencies. We have some site surveys, and we're pretty good at site surveys because we do that all the time for Bluetooth and wireless. We do measurements. We have to do firewalls. We're talking about edge devices and all that Kubernetes blah blah stuff. We have to set up and talk to the customer through. And now the new player on that niche on the localization is Bluetooth 6.2. Or Bluetooth 6, which is a game changer in general. It's not another flavor that changed a lot. We're still talking about 40 channels, 3 for advertisement, and so on and so on. But,
When did that get released?
It's released. The 660 is released.
No, when did it? That's what I was asking. When did it drop?
Oh, sorry. I think a few months ago.
But I say it couldn't have been. Released. It couldn't have been long ago.
No.
I haven't heard much about it here.
6.2?
No, the 6.2 should be April or something like that, or maybe I'm confused. Sorry, don't quote me here. But it is pretty new, but it is released and people are working with it. And it has some nice features because we're getting more and more into terms of determinism, and we're talking about channel or time slots accuracy of 375 microseconds.
Wow.
This is you can't put a lot of data in it, but maybe for just a safety bit or two that might be okay. For larger data it will not work. But this is something I definitely need to get my hands dirty on. I didn't get my feet wet. It is, I think, in United States terms. This is what I like to do. First of all, that determinism, 375 microseconds, and the payload we can actually send through. Also, the amount of participants should increase by that. I'm not sure how much or many. How many participants we can actually put against one master. And the other thing is obviously the localization again. The specs were saying something about less than a centimeter, which I would be actually surprised. So let's see if we can do an inch. That would be pretty good. Maybe even 4 to 5 to 6 inches would be okay to see where the box is. Right now we can mostly just say
you're talking for like just for RTLS.
It is an RTLS actually. Okay, so okay. you have one master is talking to one client, one master is talking to a bunch of clients, and the other masters are listening on channels. It's like advertisement channels. They don't change, but I couldn't dig into that enough to find out exactly how it works. I will do that in the next weeks and months, and when I get my hands on it, and when I see them on the spectrum, I really think it would look very funny on the spectrum analyzer, to be honest.
Well, are they using the same control channels? Are they using the same control channels that BLE uses?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, that should stand out really well then in SpecAn.
Yeah, but from what I understood so far, and again, I have to read more into that, is that you're also using specific channels for that localization. because all the masters around, you need triangulation, right? You need 3 masters to have a 2D map and 4 to 5 for 3D, for proper 3D mapping, and all the other masters around need to listen to that channel. But if you're doing AFH, no master would know which channel they should listen to.
Okay.
So in my understanding, they need to be dedicated channels, but I'm not sure if there is the advertisement channels or not. So this is what I got my feet wet very, very soon, as soon as I got my prototypes. And another thing in Bluetooth is we're working on something to shut down AGVs and wake them up again. So it's a small, it's like half the size of a box of cigarettes, if anyone remember those days. And they can actually, it's battery buffered, and you can power down anything like an AGV or roller coaster. Jeremy, looking in your direction, stuff like that. But it's also very new. I'm not allowed to talk a lot of that because there's a patent pending. But the idea is to actually shut down over hundreds of feet, a whole fleet, let it sleep for up to 30 days, and let's wake it up, and also just by hitting a button on an HMI, stuff like that. So this is what I will test in the next weeks. On the Bluetooth side,
That's impressive.
then we got, yes, it will be the next half year. Bluetooth will do huge steps.
Well, I mean, you guys are talking
we-
300 and some odd microseconds. I have a hard time even wrapping my brain around that kind of speed. Well, I mean, honestly, that's
same here.
that's hardwired speeds. You know, that's true hardwired speeds when you're talking microseconds.
Well, I mean, but that's just the cycle time. It won't be the end-to-end latency, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
So
you
it's just
still
the cycle time.
Well,
just
but
the
you're-
cycle
but-
time on the radio, yeah.
But I mean, the point is we're getting closer and closer to that, right? With every evolution of what we're seeing and working with, we are getting closer and closer to true wired speeds. And even though this is a cycle time, like you're saying, Nick, I mean, is anything else that fast as far as already using any sort of spectrum? I don't think so. So this is just the first touch on that, which means it's only going to continue and evolve. That's fascinating.
Toby, how's your experience been
Yeah.
with using ultra wideband for location RTLS stuff?
Oh, it's great. It's about a centimeter. So
Yes.
in a proper room with 6 antennas, I would usually say we need at least 4, but with 6 antennas, line of sight given and so on, a centimeter. You
That's
could actually see which direction you put a pan, or the size of a sugar cube, stuff like that. If you move it left or right, you
Wow.
could
That's
see
pretty cool.
which direction your coffee mug is. But the question is, do you need it? Usually not, as long as you're not in a warehouse, and every tag is pretty expensive. If you want to put a tag on every shoebox to see where which shoebox is, yes, we could do that, because the intelligence is in the satellites, but it is pretty expensive. I'm still missing, if someone is listening to that podcast, I'm still super eager to try it actually with an AGV fleet, to put 1 or 2 antennas on an AGV, because then you don't have not the position, but also the orientation in the room. So maybe you don't have to draw a line, magnetic tape or QR tape on the ground, because you should know by a centimeter, or let's say 2, where the AGV is, and the rest is air quoting here, just PLC stuff, which I'm pretty bad at. But if there's someone around, I really would like to try that. For an AGV, AMR is another story, completely other story, because then you have self-safe, you have LiDAR, you have SLAM navigation, and so on and so on. But with that, with the AGV, the guided vehicles, which right now require a tape on the ground, you could theoretically draw that tape on a screen, on a touch screen, and the AGV would follow this virtual line. And this is what I really like to try out, but I couldn't find any AGV company who's eager enough. Or maybe I missed something. So yes, please drop me an email to
Toby,
make me understand what no
actually,
one is doing.
Yeah, actually, so what you're saying, you're shifting the whole navigation thing from the vehicle to a centralized controller, right? Yeah. I do know, dropping another German startup here. I do know some guys. They're called Pixel Robotics, and they are not using ultra What's it called? UWB, but
UAV.
but just camera-based localization. It's very interesting, and they're using this to track the whole AMR fleet, and also use this for navigation as an alternative to laser-based navigation. Very interesting.
Yeah, but this is yeah, I saw that of am I allowed to say it? I think I am. I saw it on IFM.
We won't tell.
Everyone knows the yeah, right. You will tell about the 5,000 listeners, probably one of them. That's a company called IFM. You probably seen their orange ones, and they've done the same. So they have two cameras on it, like Teslas, I would say, and they try to do exactly that. It wasn't working
Oh wait,
well.
but they have the cameras on the vehicle.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, Pixel Robotics got the camera on the ceiling. So the vehicle
Okay,
is
okay.
is completely
Okay.
unknown of where it is and what's it doing. It just receives command what to do.
That's also very interesting, which also is relying on a very reliable wireless infrastructure. I think I know what
Uh-huh.
I think I understand where you're heading there, Nick. But yeah. Okay. But before you do your pitch, Nick. No, I'm just kidding. So and the last thing I'm looking really forward to, which is a great handover to you in a second, is so we have a customer, and the customer would like to exchange his wireless solution for his HV fleet against Blitzfunk from 5,5. And they want to run some bench tests, and hopefully I will receive, after my vacation, my holiday right now, I will receive a new firmware where I can actually cheat a whole fleet into the controller. So the idea is the customer has,
Just been
let's
working
say,
on it today.
120 AGVs. Oh, perfect. So let's say the customer has 120 AGVs, but obviously we cannot set up 120 PLCs and clients and so on and so on. So the idea is to fake it and say and just to make the whole infrastructure think that there are actually 120 AGVs, while in real life there are only two AGVs or PLCs connected. So we can simulate data throughput, latency, and everything because it's a deterministic environment, and which means the more clients, the slower it gets, but still 2 milliseconds per client. And so this is what I'm looking for to do in January and end of January, beginning of February as well, to do these simulations for larger AGV fleets, because this will probably give us an advantage as well. So these are the
Okay.
three. Oh no, then the other topic. Sorry, well I forgot was Wi-Fi 7. I mentioned that as well. Wi-Fi 7. We will receive 2 new access points, generations of access points, where I definitely have to do the handover, because we discussed that in the how do you call it?
Pre-game.
Scott.
Pre-gaming.
Thank you. For foreplay, something else. So the pre-gaming. So we discussed that WPA3 is very slow at roaming. We're talking about 2,000 milliseconds, between 1,500 and 2,000 milliseconds for a roaming event, and with a new access point, new chipsets, and everything else. We hope that we can reduce this amount of roaming, and I will do some lab tests as well, because our clients are able, so I can send API calls to tell the client to roam left and right pretty fast, or not fast. And this is what I like to test with some F-ping and probably some G-ping, because Nick, your buddy, your colleague Lucas just told me you are very deep into G-ping. I think you wrote the script, Python script or something. So maybe we should put our heads together. But okay, no Python. Okay, Python's slow probably. Okay, but maybe we should talk about that too. That's on my
Sure.
badge. Sorry for stealing 5 minutes of your life, but that's what I'm doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff. So one, I think Toby and Nick, the two of you, some amazing stuff. I would love to see it at WLPC and even at the WICO event. Y'all should present this stuff. It would be very interesting to see this.
Do we still have open program slots there in Frankfurt maybe?
So Frankfurt, call for presentations. It hasn't out. It's not out yet. But obviously, if you are planning on attending and you want to submit, you can definitely submit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all attend WLPC or not, and if you do, please, this would be awesome content for that.
Yeah,
Well,
we
this
got to
time
get
it's
more industrial representation.
Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we need representation in WLPC Prague in October. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what I look
I
forward
forgot
Well,
that's
that
what I
because
look forward to.
that
there's
would fit
Prague every
perfectly.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure,
Prague's fun.
sure.
I love going to
Let's
Prague.
meet in Prague.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
Andrew,
one.
you guys have to know that Nick could actually walk to Prague. It's about 2 hours or maybe three, so it is
Oh, nice.
just
but
around.
See,
not by foot, by car. But
that's the
yeah,
cool. That's the cool thing about there. You know, as I mentioned, my family, some of my family that are in Frankfurt area, they are so they're always traveling in all these cool places, and I'm seeing pictures posted, right? And uh, I guess we can't really do that. I mean, 4 hours, 5 hours, I'm still in the US, right? If I'm driving.
4 or 5 hours,
One
you're still in North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, friend of mine
12
once I was
hours, you're still in
talking.
Texas.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody like, ah, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Nashville. It's like, how long is the drive? I'm like 4 or 5 hours. Like, oh, I can be in a different country in that time frame, right? I guess it just depends on where you are too, probably, but I think it's fascinating. Pretty cool.
That's
But yeah,
because miles per hour is
would
slower than
absolutely
kilometers.
that's
Finally.
yeah. So
Finally, someone figured it out.
so is the Wi-Fi is the Wi-Fi kilometers per hour or miles per hour? Is it how does it operate over there?
It depends on the region you choose, right? On the regulatory region.
Oh, that's true. There you go.
I just
Uh,
I just wanted to add something to what Toby said when he mentioned the AGV fleet simulation thing. I mean, of course, you need to know that the wireless system he wants to be used with, well, our Blitzfunk, is that this is not an ordinary Wi-Fi where, I mean, adding 100 clients has like unknown effects because ordinary Wi-Fi is not deterministic. Anyone can basically transmit data anytime, so you don't know what you get. It's just a mixed bag and far from deterministic. And our stuff is basically on the really opposite edge. So it's not high data rate. On the contrary, it's like we're talking 6 megabit per second for one channel group, as we call it, one resource pool, and then this is divided by all the clients in there, and it starts to get low really really quick. But if we talk about industrial applications, if we talk about OT, if we talk about connecting safety PLCs, we just transferring some couple bytes every couple milliseconds, and it's perfectly tailored to this use case. So once you have a deterministic resource grid, now this makes sense that you can easily simulate how this would behave with 100 clients, because you can just build your schedule for 100 clients and then have your real clients fire up and then silence, 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 and then fire it up again. And it's very nice because you can be sure, like 100% sure, that your final deployment behaves exactly the same way, because it's deterministic in the end, right? Whether you're calling 98 virtual clients or actually talking to real clients doesn't make any difference, which is very nice because it takes the whole headache from you in deployment. You actually plan the whole deployment at your desk, and then just build it up, and it will behave exactly the same as you planned it.
Well,
so you're
Also,
saying
it
that
lets
you're telling the clients when they can transmit, and you're creating a schedule, and then you're pushing that out. But so what
yes,
happens when you want to add more clients? Let's say I want to add two more clients. So you're updating the schedule then accordingly, or
precisely, yeah.
okay.
So the whole deterministic thing means that all the clients are registered with the network. So if you, I mean, we got a web interface. You can also use an API if you like. And if you want to add a client, you add that to that resource pool, to the channel group, and then it's just part of the schedule. And latency increases by 2 milliseconds with each client, and yeah, throughput is equally divided by all clients, and that's it. And once you reach a point where you say, well, I need more resources, you just add more access points on new channels and start anew. That's it.
Well, and Ali, that's one
That's
of the big challenges across the board for any sort of wireless integration into the OT universe, right? Because the OT universe
yeah.
needs to be deterministic. It has to be
Yeah.
deterministic in order to support all of the controls, right? And when you
Yeah.
start integrating, especially when it comes to 802.11, 802.11 is that is a dynamic beast, and
Yeah.
it's trying to tame that dynamic aspect to be more predictable for the more dynamic or for the more deterministic aspect that we require in the OT universe. So, are we willing to sacrifice throughput for deterministic values? Absolutely, because
Yeah.
our overall throughput needs are minimal in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things. So, you know,
Yeah. We're talking
if
kilobit per
you're
second.
looking at an industrial throughput requirement of, I don't know, of 2 or 3 meg, that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
that's a lot.
that's an incredible amount of data it's trying to push through there versus we don't need gigs of throughput, but we what we need, and here we go again. I'm going to get into the whole damn CIA triad and start talking about availability
Yeah. Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
uh, uh, availability versus security, and I don't need to get into all that, but determinism is a big major piece of that puzzle, and that's one of the challenging things that we face when integrating any sort of wireless activity into an industrial process.
And
Toby,
actually, sorry,
Toby had
Toby.
his hand raised, so I'd feel bad if I didn't call on him.
Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. So, talking about data throughput in this specific scenario we just talked about with the AGV fleet, we're talking about 81 kilobit per second per client. But it comes also because we're talking about a historian. Every PLC is talking not only one PLC to another PLC. We have PLC to historian. We have the current Wi-Fi client to historian. We have everything is talking to everything and everyone at the same time. So if we reduce it, I could say half we could actually cut the data in half, which is 40 kilobit per second ish. So yeah, the amount of data is not an issue in industrial
Yeah.
communication. I just want to highlight that again.
I mean, if you divide that 6 megabit per second by 100 clients, you get 60 kilobit per second, which would be in exactly the range what Toby mentioned. Yeah, and I mean, if you and then we're talking Wi-Fi and determinism, and then what's usually, I mean, there are a couple of vendors out there who really did a very good effort in making wireless more deterministic, but then usually whenever it stops is roaming, right? Yeah. So we don't just have one access point. We have a couple of access points. We need to cover a whole warehouse, a whole factory plant, and then, I mean, usually even if you have some sort of schedule within one access point, what happens when you transition to the next? And we basically the same way how we introduce scheduling in Wi-Fi, we introduce the cellular way of doing handovers to Wi-Fi. So it's not the
I was
client
just gonna
having to scan
say something
around,
about that.
right? It's not the client having to look around. Oh shit! Well, my signal is so bad. Who might be the next one? Oh shit! I'm already out of range. Oh, I'm losing packets. Maybe this is a good one. Let's try to authenticate. Oh, it's taking me 2 seconds with WPA3. Now we are going again. And this
Yeah.
is not what you want in an industrial setting. So
Yeah.
for us, it's really you plug in all the access points with an Ethernet switch. They are actually sharing the same 2 Wi-Fi channels. It's always 2 for redundancy because, determinism, again, we want to make every transmission very reliable. And they're sharing the same 2 channels, and the scheduling, the whole resource grid is shared throughout the whole area. And we don't really care where that client lives. We track the clients using their uplink transmissions, and then just decide for the next slot when that client is active, which access point are going to take in downlink. So it's very similar to, actually it's even better than cellular handover, because in cellular handover you still have, it's either this or that radio, or it's either this or that base station, and with us it's really, we can decide in each cycle who is going to be the best access point. So if we talk about one single client, actually we have a nice demo at Trade Fest with a single client on a rail moving between 2 access points, and we have a default slot duration of 2 milliseconds, which means we can roam 500 times per second. It comes for free. Roaming comes for free. And if you rule out the lack of determinism because of everyone can talk whenever they like, and you add the zero latency roaming, now you got determinism, right? Now you're in the position that you can actually plan the whole thing at your desk and deploy it, and it's just working. Yeah.
Okay, so
Sorry.
one more thing
Sorry
I'm
for
getting
taking your
out of
time.
no, that's some interesting stuff. I just want to clear what my understanding over here. So from a follow-up from previous questions. So the schedule is not an AP-based schedule, but I have 50 clients connected to this AP and this is their schedule, 50 clients connected to AP number two, radio two, and no, it's an overall schedule for the
Yeah.
whole. Okay.
Precisely.
So,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter where the client goes. It can go to this radio or
Exactly.
that radio, the schedule applies. Okay.
It also means again the industrial trade-off. It also means we are intentionally sacrificing resources. We are basically wasting resources because, I don't know, if we had two clients and two access points which are far from each other, you could actually use the airtime of the other access point to serve that second client and grant him a lot more resources. But we don't do that because then everything would break spectacularly once those two clients move to the same access point, and we don't want that. Right? That's
Okay.
that's why we have this one giant shared resource grid. So
Okay.
And this
less
is
throughput,
and,
but guaranteed.
and this is actually the biggest advantage over other PCF technologies out there, or industrial PCF. Don't want to call it IPCF. Industrial PCF, because you have that over the all system. Not oh no, that took time. Come on, guys.
Don't hurt Jeremy's feelings,
You
okay?
said that.
Jeremy's very sensitive.
But because then you have it over the whole infrastructure. This is the biggest advantage. The whole infrastructure consumes, air quoting here again, consumes 2 milliseconds, regardless if you have one access point or theoretically 100 access points. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in one cell or in the other cell. You have the same determinism over the whole channels. Plus, you have some nice. It's not real PRP, but I like to explain it like PRP, physical redundancy protocol, because you're sending every data over two different channels at the same time. So that's also awesome. That's a beast. So what is
It sounds kind of like
6.9?
the Cisco Curb has that MPO, where it's not exactly like a PRP thing, but the traffic's duplicated and it's just whatever's the most sensible path. Is that right?
It's
No,
like a more
sorry,
deterministic version of that. Sorry. Yeah, it's like with Curb, it's still a mesh kind of thing, right? I think it stems from what were they called, fluidity or fluid mesh or something like that. And very interesting. So our stuff compared to theirs is more stripped down, more, I don't know, more tailored to determinism, to industrial, and theirs is more flexible. So you can do multi-hop and stuff. But it's also a little bit less deterministic, a little bit harder to pinpoint to a certain latency or certain throughput.
The thing about this is, LE is cellular is the same way. Very deterministic. There's differences, obviously, what you guys are doing, but cellular is doing the same thing. So CBRS, this is why CBRS has been touted as replacing Wi-Fi, which it's not. But a lot of people have said it's going to replace Wi-Fi because it's deterministic. It won't. The two technologies have their benefits and drawbacks, but this is where cellular really fits, as the deterministic piece. You can schedule, you can say QoS, I'm going to guarantee this traffic and it will arrive because you are following that schedule of the client for everything, the radios, the clients, everything's following a schedule.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mark.
That's right.
I remember actually once it was one of a pretty big CBRS deployment and something that I was involved in when I was working as a solutions architect for a reseller. And when I told the customer why CBRS, for what he was trying to do, he loved it. And he's like, that's amazing. That's great. He's like, oh, so I can configure it to my Wi-Fi. I'm like, no, don't do. Let's just back up a little bit.
I was at an event a week and a half ago, and we had a guy from LG, the manufacturing company, that company LG, and he was talking about one of their factories, and he said they had AMR robots running on private cellular because their Wi-Fi, they were getting 200 millisecond reconnects issues when they're roaming. Will
Oh,
cellular
yeah.
roaming immediately. Just
Mhm.
tower, radio, just being told where to go. And that's the difference between IT, OT. IT is we don't care so much about that type of stuff. Yeah, we do care, but it's not as critical. In OT, it's you have to have that. So
You have to have that. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
it really depends on the process, right? It is it sensor data? Is it mission critical to the process?
Mhm.
You talk PRP, and there's you have all these DCS vendors, distributive control vendors, Honeywell, ABB for as example. They all have their own flavor of PRP running in the background, and typically they have you install two physically separate networks, and that's how they do their redundancy. So you have uh, all of that running on two physically independent networks, and everything is identical, and all traffic goes to both at the same time. And so being able to do that wirelessly is and efficiently is pretty impressive.
Oh,
you're
and
saying
just to
two.
mention,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I just wanted to mention if you want to run PRP wirelessly because you think, well, I just duplicate this and then the world is safe. Take care, take a lot of care because when you have two radios next to each other, make sure that they are always transmitting at the same time and receiving at the same time. Because if you don't, you have a near far problem. You have a dynamic range problem, right? So that's why there are some people just throwing PRP on wireless and wondering, why am I still getting so high packet error rates? Well, usually with Wi-Fi you don't get packet errors, but you get delays because things get retransmitted, which messes up the whole schedule anyway. But PRP wirelessly needs some thought to have everything synchronized. Basically, we did that in an efficient way. Yeah.
Oh, Scott, what did you mean by deploy two different networks? Like literally two physical, for example,
Correct.
switches
Correct.
and all that?
Yeah.
ABB, Honeywell, Delta V, all these major DCS vendors, when they go in and they install a system, they install two physically separate networks for redundancy. They do not connect to one another. They will connect to their endpoints. So all of their endpoints are multi-homed across two different physical networks. And that's how they do their redundancy. It's a very expensive way to do it, but it's also a very reliable way to do it, right? Now, can these also be just deployed across the same hardware using VLANs? Absolutely, you can. But the whole point from the DCS vendor point of view is to have two physically separate systems for that ultimate redundancy, right? So if you have a switch die or a switch on or cabling on network A get damaged, network B is untouched and good to go.
So
But like I
what if
said,
you
it's
have
an
two?
expensive way to do it, but it absolutely works. But do we
Well, what if
deploy
it's
it on VLANs? Absolutely, we do. It all depends on the client's appetite for cost.
yeah? So what if instead of deploying two different networks, you can actually have just one network, but you just have redundancy, like two switches, for example, right? What would that
Well,
not
there's
accomplish
as
this?
with anything, Ali. There's 1,001 ways to skin a cat, but not all of them are the best ways to skin said cat. Not that you should be skinning a cat anyway, but Uh,
Thank you.
there are multiple ways to do that, and you can mitigate a lot of that with different network topologies and ring topologies and port channeling, and if you want to use spanning tree in your OT environment, you can. You just have to do it very controlled, right? So there are multiple ways to give you that redundancy and still use one centralized network as opposed to two physically separate networks. Absolutely, we do it all the time. But again, it goes to the client's appetite for how much they want to spend on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Exa-
it's not really a pitch, but on just to stay focused on the technical thing, the company that I work for, right? I mean, Scott, you and I had some conversations around it. Yeah, as you know, we removed layer 2, sorry, from our architecture, and everything pretty much is there's no spanning tree. So
Right.
that's yeah, it kind of eliminated that complexity from the network. That helps towards achieving some of that kind of stuff, which is why I was asking, well, would it help if you can accomplish something similar instead of deploying a separate network, right? I was just
Well, like I
curious what
said,
was
there's multiple solutions for that,
yeah.
right? And you have to remember too, DCS vendors were resistant in initially at virtualizing their server infrastructure. They wanted everything to be separate boxes. You
Mm,
know,
yeah, yeah.
so even then, virtualizing their infrastructure is a relatively new thing in the controls universe. Whereas I don't know how long's VMware been around, right? How long has the Microsoft version of that been around, right? They've been around a
Yeah.
long, long time. But as far as in the controls universe, I want to say maybe the better part of 10 years. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, Toby, you guys have been around. And so that's now just a pretty common thing now, but 10 years ago that was just kind of an ABB. I remember ABB was very resistant against it until some integrators, I won't name who, some integrators did it anyway and proved to them that it worked just as reliably as having physically, separate physical servers for everything, that they finally started approving a virtualized architecture.
Yeah,
Now,
Toby's got
Scott,
hands up.
Go ahead, Toby.
Okay, thanks. Just talking about the hot standby of the second network. When I was working for automotive company in Germany, the biggest one actually, they had a whole infrastructure. I mean, they double everything, including the whole Wi-Fi infrastructure, because one could be compromised, and that actually happened due to Spanning Tree, because some guy was doing like, oh yeah, everything was wired up, everything was cool. Oh, I will plug it in right now, not at 2 a.m. in the morning when he's supposed to, and the Spanning Tree took down the whole Wi-Fi. But without Wi-Fi, no intralogistics. Without intralogistics, no cars. Without cars, no Germany. So we switched the whole Wi-Fi network in about an hour. And this is the reason the people are doing it. And talking about Spanning Tree, Ali, you just said that you got rid of Spanning Tree at all. Are you guys doing DLR or MRP? Because I'm getting sucked into that domain more and more, even though I don't want to.
You talking about ring
And
topologies?
yes, yes. I try
Oh,
to
I love
avoid
a
it
good
as
ring
much as I
topology.
can.
I
So
love a good ring topology.
yeah,
Why?
so again, a couple of different ways, actually the topology can work. You can do a ring, or you can actually have, ideally we want to make sure that there's at least redundant link from every single like switch, right? Going back to the main core switch or whatever the main core is, right? Or distribution switch or whatever, depending on how it's set up. So ideally, but we can do a ring. There's no, again, there's no spanning tree, there's no layer two. So we do an OSPF ring,
Okay.
which also gives you a benefit. So let's say with layer two, if you have CRCs or some kind of issues with one link because cable has interference for some whatever reason, or I don't know, your SFP is going bad. Well, with layer two, your traffic will continue to go on that link until you manually unplug it, shut it down, or do something to change the cost of OSPF. No, with OSPF, what we are able to do then is we can automatically flip that link to the working link. So our system will see that those errors or whatever the problem is happening on one link, and we can automatically generate an alert and flip that link also at the same time to the working link.
And so that's the AI and the software in the background. That's the S in your SDN, right?
Yeah, the
that's taking
automation.
care of that.
Yeah, the automation and AI and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. So that's an interesting piece that happens in the ring, and you can have it in a ring. You can have it everything going back to the core, just depending on what it works.
In concept, that sounds something very familiar to what Fortinet does on the back end with their Fortinet fabric. Because
I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know all the 100% ins and outs of it, but in concept, it sounds similar because they control, because with a Fortinet firewall, you can control your wireless as well as you can control your switching through its fabric. So, but that's a whole nother discussion, a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
Probably shooting
looking
my
forward.
own foot here while asking the question, but how is pure layer 2 communication like Profinet and ProfiSafe working over those types of technology or topology? Sorry, topology. Because
I was asking the same. Yeah,
how does it
I was
work?
asking the same. Yeah.
Are you
Because
asking me?
yeah, sorry, Ali. Yeah, you're in the spotlight.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were asking Scott.
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't.
let's
I don't know
start
how.
with you.
I don't know how ProfiSafe and like SIP and whatnot would work across that. I don't know how that would interact. I don't.
Yeah,
SIP would
so
work. SIP would work pretty well, but Profinet would probably. I have no idea what will happen actually.
yeah, that's a good question. That's way above my technical background on it on the Profinet. I know there's some industrial stuff in it with the BACnet or some of this other industrial stuff that we have gotten it to work without any issues and problems. But
Oh,
Profinet, I have not run into that so far yet. That's a good question. I'll have to kind of reach out to one of the guys who actually, one of the dev team guys and ask them that question on that Profinet. How is it going to work? Because I know there's some very different stuff happening with that.
I
Interesting.
mean, yeah, you probably need some sort of tunneling. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm
Well,
curious how that will
it's all
work.
like MAC address name. Like the Profinet name is all like a layer two mechanic, so you can't really like route it across the subnet, right?
Yeah.
exactly. You have layer 1 to 7. That's it basically. So you're skipping a bunch of OCISO layers, while BACnet is still doing at least layer 3 IP addressing.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
let's dig into that and then meet again and discuss
Yeah,
why it's working,
I'm
why not.
yeah.
You
What
just
is
say it's under development and the Profinet license is prohibitively expensive at this time.
so they're skipping the
That's the
layers.
Cisco approach. Yeah.
What's the reason of them skipping the layers? Are they trying to optimize the delivery and speed for skipping the
It's
layers? What are the
I think it's just I think just the way it's designed is it's all meant to be on its own layer two segment. So it's
Well, and the less
Yeah,
layers you have to traverse, the less time it takes to get your communication across. So
Okay.
Yeah,
The reason I
less
asked
overhead. Yeah.
exactly. So
Okay, the reason I asked the question because again, just putting some thought process around what Toby asked, right? For 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 clients that are connected to them, it's still layer two. They will not be able to differentiate whether they're connected. Oh, I'm connected to a layer three network, right? So to them, it'll be layer two. But then once the traffic hits, it's layer three is happening. So I was kind of curious, but that's a good question, and I'm going to dig more into it myself too because I'm curious.
I will ask my friend Riley. Maybe he knows. That would be a nice idea. And yes, they did it. From what I read and from the classes I took, they did it because Switch is adding about plus minus 15.5 microsecond to every packet going in and out. Um, and but the wrapping and unwrapping of the whole packet, including all the layers, that takes more time, and they want to make that a little faster, a few
Okay.
milliseconds, microseconds
because
faster.
15
Yeah,
microseconds
it's
is
a lot,
just too
man.
slow,
Oh,
Ali.
look at the Nick's direction. Oh yeah, we had that discussion. Yes, we this is right now the limit. The limit. We're talking back and forth, Nick and I, because yes, we are talking microseconds right now. It's ridiculous. We're talking 15 microseconds for some new nice stuff. This is amazing. Yeah.
Wow, that is insane.
It's fascinating, right? Like how we're the speeds. I mean, if we're talking microsecond and milliseconds, and if you go into double digits or God forbid 3 digits, right? That's a lot.
Well, I mean, when you look at the overall evolution of everybody's favorite wireless B and when that came on the scene, and you look back now at wireless B and how archaic it seems because we're the guys who work
Mhm.
with all this stuff every day, right? Which is why we disable wireless B whenever possible. And then you start comparing it to some of this cutting edge microsecond speed technology that we're talking about that Nick and Toby are getting to play with um in the span of what this is 25 years roughly, 25 to 30 years of evolution of this, and every year that it's just evolving faster and faster. So when you think about it, if you look at its speed of evolution and how fast the changes are coming now, that grand scheme of things, true wire speed over wireless is right around the corner. It's definitely well within our working lifetimes, not retired lifetimes.
Yeah, I mean, the
And
Wi-Fi
that's
8.
incredible.
yeah, with Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 8, MLO, puncturing, all these different technologies that are kind of coming out and more and more. I mean, I guess as long as the clients are able to support it, right? I mean, I'm curious with the
Yeah.
industrial side of the things, right? What do you guys think with MLO and puncturing and all these different things? Do you see more some industrial devices maybe trying to utilize this? Do you see that ever happening? Curious.
I think the
It's
dynamic
definitely the right direction.
nature. I think the dynamic nature of those things are what limits their
But
ability to
yeah.
be deployed in the industrial universe. But I know Toby's chomping at the bit, so I'm gonna step off. I cut him
No,
off
no, no,
because
no, no. No, 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 no. So no, I just want to say that with all the puncturing, I don't know. Right now the clients are not there yet because right now it's just you have RJ45 or M12, you plug it in and it works. No one cares about actually from the client perspective, from the application side. Um, what accidentally helps in my understanding is OFDMA. So if we could
Yeah.
manage a proper roaming time in Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6, the OFDMA would help a lot because we are not talking about huge packets for 8K video streaming, whatever. We are talking about a lot of packets, but very close, very small. So I think the
Hmm.
OFDMA would actually be a big game changer. But just by accident, it was not meant to do that, but for us, it would help if we
Yeah.
can
Hmm.
actually get a hold of that roaming issues.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see if I end up in Germany. I'd love to I'd come to Nick's your office or whatever to see, yeah, your stuff, like how you're making it happen. That
so. All
sounds
right,
pretty
Sure,
Toby
feel
amazing.
and Nick,
invited.
if Ali comes to Germany, you guys have to promise to not let his brain explode from overexposure of too much information, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Or
gonna
if
try to do that.
yeah, or if you present yeah, or if you present at WLPC, right? I can always watch the video too.
Yeah, sure.
Then yeah, 29th of April should actually work for me. So I will be in the States from January to beginning of April, and I will be back for some reasons. So maybe I can extend it by a week. Yeah,
So do you live over here or primarily, or do you live in Germany or back and forth
both
between
actually,
both?
back and forth. So last year I was about 70% in the United States.
Okay,
So
well, how
the
about
more
then you presenting something in the US also? Because there's events that are happening in the US also. So if you are in the US, would love for you to come and see it. I mean, Scott and Jeremy, they come and Scott have done hands-on stuff too and all that. So it would be really nice to see that. And Jeremy actually brought the whole kit last time in Nashville,
Yeah,
right?
he had his
And
Ghostbusters backpack and he put Ali on roller skates. It was awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I heard that a few times, and you put the bar pretty high, Jeremy. So I have no idea what I could do, a quad or something like that, running
Well,
with the side by side with fellas
well,
strapped on.
Ali did not wear the booty shorts. So, I mean, that's one thing you could do to scale that up.
I couldn't find them, man. Sorry.
Wow.
I don't know what kind
Uh,
of
no,
degeneracy
but yeah,
this is, but
no,
I'm gonna
Oh my
come home.
no,
God.
but yeah, PC. God, looking in your direction, wasn't something planned in the Carolinas in March or
uh,
something?
I'll be
Oh, sorry, Waco.
right. Ali and I were actually talking about some of that today. We're pushing on trying to get YCO NC figured out. Not 100% on who's going to be doing the official planning for it. But one of the things we do want to do with YCO NC is try to expand it to 2 days if at all possible. Um, I will more than likely do another hands-on lab, just the basics as far as industrial wireless APs, wiring them up, configuring them, and whatnot. Um, but as soon as we have any kind of dates hammered that out for that, I will let you guys know. And then Ali will keep you guys posted on YCO there in Germany as well. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's a you
Really
can just go on
cool.
the website too, right? I'll put the
right.
link in there. Yeah, the dates gets posted right there on what's going on with it, and they start, we start building the page and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, looking forward to the North Carolina one, Philly. There's gonna be definitely North Carolina, Philly, Nashville, a few others that I can think of. There's actually a couple of new places actually. We're doing one in right where Mark is. Mark's neck of the woods actually this year. So I'm excited about to finally have an excuse to go to Utah.
He's going to get to go play out in the desert.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Let's go drive out to the desert and play, man.
Well, hey, you know what, guys?
Yeah.
I want to. Oh, go ahead, Toby.
Sorry, the latency around the globe is a little bad today. So,
Well, I
who
mean,
will
you're
be in
not on the opposite
WLTC?
side of the planet or anything. That's all.
So
In the
who of you
future.
guys will be on the WLPC?
WLPC, there's one in February. The one that's happening in Phoenix, Arizona, and there's the one in Prague is what, Mark? October
October.
2026? Okay.
But who will be in there in February in the States?
Oh, I'm going,
I'll be there.
Mark's.
I'll be there.
Jeremy, you're going this year?
Jeremy's speaking.
No. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's right. That is correct. I will be there. Yet another
Nice.
Valentine's Day that my wife is gonna miss me.
Yeah. So Toby,
Oh.
I heard today in the earlier call that I was in that a bunch of us were in actually. Yeah, it looks like there's about 80% of it is sold out already. So if you're planning on going, or if you want to go, yeah, just keep that, you might want to register pretty fast. It'd be nice to kind of meet you in person too, of course, and we get more into it. So.
Just have some White Claws for Toby.
Perfect. Don't.
White Claws. Okay.
Guys, I really appreciate everybody taking the time. It's the holiday season and whatnot. And I want to thank you guys for coming on and talking and just discussing what we got on the bench and all these different technologies and the integrations. And for the love of God, microsecond wireless. That is absolutely amazing. So, hey, I hope everybody has a great holiday and everybody enjoys some time off. And I hope everybody eats and drinks way too much and then gets a chance to sleep it off. I don't think my kids will let me, but is what it is. Parting thoughts, Jeremy?
Well, just real quick, we didn't get to it, but I did want to do an honorable mention. I got that PLC tool for the addressing that Josh talked about.
Oh,
I'm pretty excited about that. And then I definitely wanted to.
that is what? That's
Yeah,
the IP Explorer, right?
Yeah, that IP Explorer device. Real simple interface for it. I got USB-C rechargeable batteries because it takes AA's. And then I was gonna also say the Exceltex battery, the site survey battery, has been putting in some work for me this year, and that NetLI Spectrum Analyzer and the Osseum Lucid, those were tremendous help to me this year. Shout out to those guys; those products are awesome.
I love Exceltech batteries. I have two, and they're awesome. I love them.
Mark,
I had to bolt all my stuff to that backpack, and I've been telling everybody if it's physically attached, you cannot take it.
Mark, final thoughts from Utah, sir.
Ooh, keep playing with stuff, I think. I've got tons of toys on my desk and I'm struggling to get to, but lots going on, but good toys. I'm teaching my class at WLPC. If you want to come, I'm teaching a class on solar. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Jeremy and
Nice.
Ellie both took it last year.
That's
So,
fantastic.
So,
Yeah,
Nick,
you're gonna use that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you're gonna use Edo for like
yes.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yep.
Nick, final thoughts from Germany.
Well, I really appreciate that round. I'm really glad that we spread the word about, talk about latency. Don't stop at data rate, talk about latency, properly measure latency, and take care that latency deadlines are met. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Toby, any final thoughts from New Zealand where we all actually wish we were?
Oh yeah.
It's raining cats and dogs right now, so it's not the summer we all expected. But no, thank you very much for having me. Thanks for good insights. I'm looking forward to the notes you will spread, and I definitely think I have to go to the Net Ally a little deeper, and maybe should go down that route. Thank you very much again. It was good to see you guys. It was good to meet you guys remotely, and I hope we run into each other soon.
Likewise,
Toby,
yeah,
and Toby,
absolutely.
let me know when you're back over this way because we've got more beer to drink, sir.
White Claw?
Actually, he brought some really good beers with him too. So
Cool.
that my American behind was not prepared for.
Oh wait, I mean, are you allowed to bring from Germany in the US? Is that?
I think he
know-
actually found some locally.
Are we still recording? Are we still recording? No.
You just cut it out.
I'll edit that part out. All right,
that's
guys.
fine.
Everybody have a great holiday season. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we hope you join us on our next episode of the Industrial Wi-Fi Shop.